If it means rescuing his adopted daughter, Clark Kent will do whatever it takes, even if it means throwing in with dark forces. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Action Comics issue number 1060 and find out what happens next, shall we? Alrighty then, so as we join the brand new issue, we see that Superman, knowing full well that Blue Earth is actually a magical threat, has decided to come all the way to England in order to recruit professional DC magic man John Constantine to his cause. Well, once he sobers him up first, as he's currently plastered out of his mind on the stool of a dirty old punk bar. So, you know, an average day that ends in Y when your name is John Constantine. Now, meanwhile, back in the Dark Empire's planet, we see what became of Otho. She desperately tries to escape Nora Stone, aka Jane and Wayne, aka Sister Shadow, but eventually it all becomes too apparent that she's no longer on Earth anymore. Sister Shadow explains that the Shadow Empire was once an incredibly powerful force in the Dark Multiverse, before eventually being kneecapped by Superman and the Authority. Once they were no longer able to invade and raid other worlds, they slowly withered up and died, implying that Sister Shadow might actually be the last one left in the Shadow Empire. This is why she's come to make war on Superman and the Superman family, not just by killing them, but also by straight up discrediting and attempting to replace them. Sister Shadow has decided to spare Otho Row, though, because as she puts it, she's managed to travel to many different planets, and on those worlds, Otho Rao is actually a powerful alien conqueror, a villain who apparently never left the side of the war zones and was never softened by the influence of Superman and the love of the super family. As far as Sister Shadow is concerned, this is Otho's birthright, and if she's willing to take it and join forces with her, there's no telling how powerful they can all become. And hey, speaking of power, as we check back on in with the rest of the super family, we can see that Ossul is freaking the hell out right now without his sister. And I mean, hey, this is probably the longest the two have been without each other. Ossul blames himself for not being able to protect his sister from getting snatched by Sister Shadow, and it's here that things end up getting really interesting. You see, the more angry that Ossul gets, the more he actually ends up tapping into those Fire of Ulgrim powers. Again, feels like the story kind of stepped away from this in the last couple volumes, but if you'll remember, Ossul was resurrected by the god powers that are the Fires of Ulgrim. Meaning if this kid let loose, there's no telling how much of a danger he could be, probably as dangerous as Orion and the New Gods thought he would be. Interesting too. Apparently in every other universe where Otho is a villainous conqueror, she's the one who actually managed to possess the powers of Ulgrim and not her brother. Huh, how about that? Now back over with Superman and Constantine, they managed to make their way inside Blue Earth's inner sanctum. They've set up shop inside a creepy old church, which, you know what, is very much on brand for these kinds of people. The place is also heavily defended by dark and evil magics. This is of course where John Constantine comes in. We get a very funny scene wherein John gets Superman to light his smoke via heat vision, and Clark is just super disgusted at the idea of Constantine smoking, only for John to fire back and say, oh what, it's not like you can get cancer. Once they manage to make it inside Nora Stone's office, Constantine is absolutely horrified to see what she's been up to. It seems that she's managed to jerry-rig some sort of hell transportation device. Basically, this is how she's been getting around Superman and the Authority having destroyed the Shadow Empire's means of traveling to other dimensions. This is bad though, because as John says, magic this evil comes at a terrible cost. And while he's been known to be pretty reckless and devil-may-care when it comes to the magical forces of the universe, even he dare not touch this stuff, fearing what it could do. It's here that Superman ends up hearing a call for help inside an hourglass, and naturally he jumps to the conclusion that it must be Otho calling out to him. John tries to stop him from touching the hourglass, only Superman is too quick, and after he touches the hourglass, it ends up causing a massive explosion. When Superman comes to, it seems that he's been teleported to another dimension, probably hell itself, where he ends up coming face to face with the power sources behind Sister Shadow's hell travel network. And surprise, surprise, it turns out to be none other than Etrigan the Demon, but also Bloodwynd. Wow, oh my god, when was the last time anyone thought about Bloodwynd? Bloodwynd and Etrigan are obviously overjoyed that Superman has come to save them, and because of that, they vow to help him in any way they can to get Otho back. But to hear that story, we're gonna have to pick up the Action Comics annual coming out soon. And so that was Action Comics issue number 1060, everyone, and overall I thought this one was a lot of fun. It's sad that Phil Kennedy Johnson is slowly but surely starting to wind down his run, but it looks like he saved some of the best, most interesting, most surprising stuff for last. I'm glad the Ulgrim stuff is coming back into focus. Obviously that was a huge part of the Philip Kennedy Johnson Superman run when it started, and it felt like it fell by the wayside for a little bit, but clearly there are still plans in place. Constantine teaming up with Superman is just great. I totally could have seen this this pairing played for a lot longer than the book chose to, but it also didn't overstay its welcome, which is nice. Overall, I think I feel comfortable giving this one a very favorable 8 out of 10. There's also some pretty interesting backup stories too, including one involving Superboy and Amanda Waller, which I'm sure will tie into the bigger events happening in Beast World, so you definitely get a lot of bang for your buck with Action Comics these days, and that's always nice to see now, isn't it? Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.